Hello everyone and welcome to this question and answer video. First off, before we start anything at all, I want to thank my Patreon supporters and I want to thank all of my subscribers here on YouTube. They are the reason I bought this Yeti Blue microphone and also this tripod that the phone is standing on, which is a stabilizer so I can get some smooth footage for my videos, book reviews. But today is all about answering questions. And I have quite a lot of questions actually. It should be very fun to go through them. I hope you will get to know me more. But yeah, why not start? So I'm not really used to using a microphone, but I hope it sounds good at least. That's the main thing, and I hope I will manage to talk into it for most of the time. But now let's go with the questions. We're gonna start off with the personal questions. So first off, we have Rob Arsenault asks, do you write? And the answer is yes, I do write a bit. I write mainly in journals. Journaling, yeah. Not so much fiction writing, not so much non-fiction. I've done a bit experimental writing, which I would maybe consider to be a political satire. And I've also tried out poetry, but I'm not really good at it at all. But it's fun. I really like writing. I like writing for myself at least. I don't plan to publish anything that I've written. But who knows, maybe I will try to do that in the future. Second question, Bethel Flynn, you said you were into lucid dreaming. Why? What are your experiences? I think lucid dreaming is one of the most incredible things you can do with your mind without external inputs. So it's really practice it, work hard on it, and you will get some amazing benefits. Amazing experiences. There's no limit to what you can do except for your own imagination and your willpower to a degree. But it's totally worth it. I recommend it to everyone that they should get into lucid dreaming and learn how to control your dreams. Aku and Fiery Luna, both of them asks, I'm wondering what I'm doing for a living. I am working at a factory, a very bleak factory work. I cut, bend and punch holes into copper bars, I guess, among some things. That's mainly what I do. It's not something I want to do for the rest of my life. I can say that, as much. But my contract is until June or July. And then I will see what I will do. I've been working there since this summer in 2018. But yeah, that's what I do right now. Next question is by Gniltps. I can't even pronounce that, but besides Swedish and English, do you speak any other languages? No, I don't speak any other languages. Swedish is my native language and English is my secondary language, and I do study a bit. I've studied a bit Scottish Gaelic. I for I glechor I churum. Yeah, I can talk about the weather. So if there are any Scottish Gaelic speakers out there, then hello to you. Any languages I would like to learn also? Yes, there's quite a few languages I would love to learn. Russian is one of them, so I can read Dostoevsky, Tolstoy, Pushkin, Gogol, Turgenev, all of those great writers in the original language. Latin, of course, that's the must. Old English, Old Norse. Ancient Greek, classical Greek, whatever it's called, Koine Greek. Yeah, there's Spanish, German, French. I could go on. I want to learn a lot of languages, but I'm happy if I just at least learn a third language. Next question is by Belg. Are you a student? If so, what do you study? And Belg is someone that has been on my channel for a while. Same with Fury Lunar, of course, and Rob. Thank you all for your support. So, am I or your student, or if so, what do you study? I have been studying for 3 years public health. It was very oriented with biochemistry, biology, and also medicine. So that's some things I have quite a lot of knowledge about. But no, right now I don't study anything at all. And I have come to a section I would like to call the Sham section. Sham is a friend of mine, and he has come up with some great questions here. And I'm going to try to answer all of them. And let's start with the first one. Which tea would you say is your favorite out of all the teas you have tested so far? Very hard question to answer because I've had a lot of good tea. I don't think I can pick one favorite, but I can say that I have one tea that is standing out to me a lot. Has stood out a lot in the past. It's a Ruby Black from the Ruby 18 cultivar, I think, in Taiwan. Very weird tea, very special tea, a strange tea, but I really loved it. I loved it a lot. So that's, I'm gonna pick that one, but I also really enjoy old, aged, ripe, pu'er tea. Pu'er cakes are great. Next question by Sham. Money being no object, what are some object items you would love to own? This one is hard because I don't think I can come up with any specific in detail object. But I'm going to be more general and say that I would love to own some original artwork by some of my favorite artists, maybe. Maybe a really well-made watch. Yeah, that would be nice. Automatic watch. Or maybe a fountain pen or something like that. Those can be quite expensive if you want something very special. Next question by Sham. Let's say you can spend a month, and I really like this question, in any time period, in any place from the past or the future. Which place do you choose? So, I would probably, at least as an observer, spend some time in Rome around I would say the Civil War with Caesar at the end of the Republic. That's as long as I'm not involved in anything, but just I can walk around and float around and observe everything that. Now I'm beginning to fail in my speech. That has happened. Would be super cool. Yeah, that's one of the places. Another place is probably, I would love to visit Scandinavia in the Middle Ages, up north, and see, in the early Middle Ages, I should say, and see how they lived, and just how the regular people, the peasants, the farmers, how they lived and managed to live in harsh times, so around the 7th, 6th century, maybe a bit later as well. And maybe I would love to visit, but you said you should spend a month there. Yeah, that's a month in 16th century England, maybe. Watch some Shakespeare plays, or yeah, I don't know. So those are the places. I can't really come up with anything better. You have the opportunity to spend a day with anyone from the past. Who do you choose? So I would say that at least today, I would choose Lev Tolstoy. Definitely Lev Tolstoy. Spend some time with him, as long as the language is not a barrier, which it would be, but let's pretend it's not. But Lev Tolstoy, and also Elizabeth I of England. That wish, just to see what royalty was like back then. She's quite a character. And let's pretend that Lao Tzu or Siddhartha Gautama or someone like that is a historical person and not something. Yeah, you know what I mean. If they did exist, I would love to have met them. Ugh. So that was all the questions by Sham. Sorry for my language breaking down. Apparently not that great in English, but let's move on. Do you have any special hobbies besides books? I'm getting dry also in my mouth. I'm not used to speaking this long in one long section or period of time. Do you have any special hobbies besides the books? Yes, I would say I do. As I said before, I like writing. I like listening to music. I like putting on some nice headphones and have a listen to some classical music, some jazz maybe, some ambient, instrumental. Color Therapy is a great band, artist, Port Blue, things like that. More hobbies. I like walking out in nature. I like running, exercising, going to the gym, drinking Gong food style tea, of course. I'm interested in history, in politics, in philosophy, in theology, in religion. A lot of things which I would consider going under the label of books, maybe, because that involves a lot of reading and thinking. But yeah, those are the things I like doing the most, I think, at least. What is the name of your cat? Hedgiek wonders. He's sleeping right over there. And he's not really my cat, he's actually my neighbor's cat that decided to move into this place. So I have pretty much renamed him Gossen, which means the boy in Swedish. And he reacted when I said that name. So Gossen is his name. Yeah, simple and works well. Let's check out the next question. These are the book-related questions, and they are quite a few. But let's begin. Lorenzo asks, what's the worst novel you have ever read in your whole life? My worst novel. I don't think I've read any novel that I just found disgusting or really bad. No, I don't think so. But the worst, I've certainly one book that I recall disliking a lot when I was reading it. And you're talking about novels, and that would be Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens. It was a few years ago I read it. It was in my early reading career. So I have to pick that one. I don't think it's a bad book. I would probably like it a lot if I reread it, but yeah, I'm gonna choose that one. Paul Princess asks, which books have you read multiple times? How much money do you spend on books in a month? The books I've read multiple times are Die Dao De Jing by Lao Tzu, Alice in Wonderland, The Hobbit. There's one more, I think. What the Buddha Taught by Rahula. I think that's all of them. And how much money do I spend on books per month? It really depends on... I don't know. I have no idea. It depends from month to month, and also I sell quite a few books. So if I sell books, I usually buy more books in a month. But yeah, I don't know. Do you often buy books from bookshops or antiquaries? Antiquaries, yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. Or just online. 99.9% online, sadly. But there are no good bookshops near me. And those that are extremely, extremely overpriced. I mean, like 25% or more sometimes of what you can get online. So that's quite sad. And there's just not enough books in English to get at bookshops here. Physical bookshops, that is. David Maduit, for how long for how long have you been a book lover? Give or take 4 years, that's it. I haven't read for that long at all, really. Power Frenzy, what are your favorite non-Fully Society Everyman editions of books? I don't think I have a favorite non-Fully Society or Everyman's edition of books. I don't think I have one. I'm gonna take a look. Taschen. It has to be Taschen books. They have some great quality. Really like Taschen. Catherine Brandt, what are your favorite adult fantasy or sci-fi books? Easy question. If you would consider it adult fantasy, it's the work of J.R.R. Tolkien, which we have right there. So J.R.R. Tolkien, great man. And man, what am I talking about? Great writer. I'm sure he was a great man too. I never met him. But a great writer, great world builder. He has had an absolute gift with language. Really love Tolkien's work. Ross Allen, what book would you most want the Fully Society to publish that they currently do not? And what book would you like a special limited edition? I would love if the Fully Society could publish a book by Haruki Murakami, the Japanese contemporary author. Really, I'm a big fan of his works. Yeah, so if they can do that, I've emailed about that to them, and they said that they would consider it. I hope there might be coming up a book in the future from Murakami. I'm not sure, but let's hope. And a book limited edition that I would want. That's a bit harder. Maybe a really nicely bound, but really high quality bound with some special material. I don't know, like tree, like wood, some kind of wood. A Dao De Jing bound book in wood. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here. Facundo Oblivion, is there a limited edition book that you always wanted but it's so expensive or rare that you couldn't find it? A few years ago I would have said the Moby Dick Full Society limited edition, but now, and this is quite sad, the Odes of Horace, the Full Society limited edition, which is a facsimile of William Morris manuscript, I guess. He didn't finish it, but the Full Society had a limited edition of that book, and I was probably honestly hours away from buying that book. It was 3 copies left on the website, and I thought, yes, I will buy this book. I will buy it. There's no talk about it. And then I'm at work. I get an email from the Full Society, and they have sent out that there's only remaining 3 copies, and I just knew that it's gone. It's once they sent out that email to all of the customers, I knew it would sell out, and it did. So the Odes of Horace, the William Morris facsimile, is one of those books that I would love to own. But and William Morris is also one of the people that inspired me to make these changes to the channel. You can see his design in my logo and things like that. But oh well. So let's continue. Vronek, have you read the Song of Ice and Fire series? Do you have any special edition of these books? I have read the 4 first books of that series, and I own a few paperbacks, but I don't own any special editions of those books, and I don't know if I want to continue reading those books, because I haven't, I don't know, I just fell out of the mood, I guess. So, Mirko Krasnar, what's your favorite genre, and what's your favorite book of that genre? Also, what's the first novel or book that you read that made you fall in love with reading? What's your favorite genre? It's impossible to answer that, honestly. Maybe philosophical books, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not really, I don't know. But I can tell you what book made me fall in love with reading. That's definitely 3 authors. Stephen King, was one of them, not the first. George R. R. Martin with A Game of Thrones, of course. Uh, and also J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit. Read that one a few years ago now for the first time, and that and The Lord of the Rings those were the books that made me fall in love with reading, definitely. And now let's go with the second sham section. Have your reading tastes changed over time? They have changed dramatically, I would say, over time. I would start off reading fantasy fiction, just contemporary fiction. And then things started to go quite wild, because I realized the amount of books that are out there that are just amazing, just incredible works. And once I realized that, I kind of went a bit crazy, because I wanted to read all of it at once. And so I started taking bits and pieces from all around the world and every time period. And so I scattered my reading experiences around, so there was no real structure to it. I just read whatever I could get my hands on in the beginning. So now, but I'm gonna say it was quite good that I did so, because I definitely developed a taste for books, and I saw what I liked. So in that sense, it was quite good that I did that. But yeah, I'm more interested in philosophical works, in his history now, especially medieval literature, medieval religion, Christianity, early Christianity. Those are the things that interest me now. I want to read all the great works of fiction and non-fiction and of just poetry, all of that. I want to do that, but I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna go from the beginning. I've started with the Iliad, as you might know. I'm gonna read the Odyssey, the Old Testament, and work my way up. For the rest of your life, you can only reread books which you have already read. Which books do you choose? The Tao Te Ching, I have talked about this before. It's the one book that has influenced my life, and the most. Definitely. The Lord of the Rings is another one that I definitely would pick. Yeah. And then for the third book, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Those two at least. You're told you have 1 year to live. Which books, which you have not read, do you choose to read? Probably something that would prepare me for dying. And who would do that? I mean, there would be maybe some Buddhist texts, or read more Taoist text or anything like that. Any great philosopher, I don't know. I haven't read many philosophers, but I would start reading. I wouldn't get into a religious crisis, I don't think, but I would definitely start reading more philosophers, those that take death as a subject, and write about that. I don't know, maybe. And that's the end of the Sham section. Thank you, Sham, so much for your questions. Next up, we have a tiny Fiery Luna section of questions. What book would you love to own? Money not being an objection. Okay, there's one book, definitely one book, The Kelmscott Chaucer by William Morris. Oh, I mean, it costs, I think it's around £30,000 to get one. I think that's about what you have to pay, so that's a lot of money. But Full Society actually did a facsimile of that edition. I think it was in 2002, so it's quite recent. And that one it goes probably for around £2,000, so it's also a very expensive book. But the Kelmscott Chaucer, definitely if money was not an objection, that's the one I pick. What are your favorite non-fiction book and fiction book if you had to choose? Either for reading or for aesthetics. I really don't know. Okay, I'm gonna put it simple. Favorite fiction, Alice in Wonderland. And favorite non-fiction, Dao De Jing. If you can consider that non-fiction. Where would you see your YouTube channel 2 years from now? Yeah, where would I see it? I hope I'm still making videos at least. And I hope I have developed a nice... I mean, book collecting is quite a niche in itself. But I would like to go further down that narrow path and really get into something... get really good at knowing about something, considering involving books. I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but yeah, something narrowing my channel down even more and getting really good at what I'm doing so others can get something out from my videos. Sure. Mr. Puddle Gollum, what is your next review? Someone who can't wait for my next review. My next review will be, as you, my subscribers have voted, it will be this book up here. The Paradise Lost by John Milton is the next review I will make, and you can vote if still think you can vote, and I will make every new video a votable video so you can choose which video you will see. You go to my channel and you click on the community section, and there I will put up polls so you can vote on the video you want to see next. He also asks, can you recommend some more obscure fine press publishers? I'm afraid I can't do that because I don't know any obscure fine press publishers. I'm of course always gonna promote Amaranthine Press. They are coming with a new book in December, maybe, hopefully. Dracula should be quite a book. Next question, Cecilia Laureiro Koislin. Really butchering all your names. If you had the chance to be a book publisher, what kind of books would you publish? I would try to make... I really like facsimiles. I really like old manuscripts, the facsimiles of manuscripts, those biblical illuminated manuscripts from the Middle Ages. I love those. I would love to own one of those too. Those just works of art. If you have ever watched a video how books were made in the past, please, if you haven't watched a video like that, check it out. It's incredible, the amount of work, the parchment that they use for the pages, the binding, just the headband is a work of art itself if you do it by hand and really nitpick it down to pure handcraft. Love books like that. I really would love to own one myself one day. Kreos Vasu asks how old are you? I'm 23 as of December 2018. And what is your favorite Full Society book of all time? Talking about limited editions, we have this one, of course, Alice in Wonderland. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, probably. Next up, we have some questions by Dex Tord. Have you ever been critical of a Full Society edition? The short answer to this question is yes. And the long answer is some Full Society editions lack in quality of the translation. Some Full Society editions lack in the quality of the binding. Some lack in print quality and some lack in other qualities. I mean, it depends on the material it is bound in, the spine, how tight it is. There's a lot of things to be critical of when you are paying for these kinds of high maybe not high-end, but rather expensive books that the Full Society produces. So yes, it's good to be critical of them. When we see that things are going down, we have to remind them of just that. So, yeah. Imagine you buy a new book from the Full Society and notice that it has a glued binding. How would you react? How would I react if suddenly a brand new book that I bought from the Full Society was glued? I would first off be very disappointed, especially if it was the same price. I don't buy books from the Full Society because they are lacking quality, right? You buy books because they have from the Full Society because they have great quality, a mix between great quality and amazing illustrations often. That's why, really, you get them. So if one of those variables were removed, then yes, I would be kind of disappointed, really. I would probably not honestly buy more books from the Full Society if they're starting having glued bindings. As simple as that. Now I have quite a few. I mean, a lot of books I have around in my bookshelf nowadays are glued, but that is because I consider them to be the best option there is. So if there's a good translation with a glued binding, I would take that over a bad translation in a Smithsonian binding. That's how it is for me today. More from Desk Toad. What is your favorite regular hardcover edition? Favorite regular hardcover? I would say any. Maybe this Lord of the Rings edition, maybe some Taschen edition. I can't pick a favorite, I don't think. And two more. Have you ever bought an expensive book and not liked it? No, I don't think so, but that would depend on what you consider to be expensive. If you're talking about expensive in the limited edition sense, where it can go up quite a bit, then no. But of course, there has been books that I have thought costed quite a bit that I wasn't happy with. And that will happen when you don't get any information from the publishers or the book sellers online on what you are buying. Do you read Stephen King and Patrick Rothfuss, who is your favorite author? I have read quite a bit of Stephen King in my days. I have never read Patrick Rothfuss. And who's my favorite author? Tolstoy. No, not Tolstoy. Dostoevsky, from what I've read of him. Or Tolkien, or... Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard picking favorites. I know it's very interesting to hear, but it's just... and I know that I will have new favorites in like a month or two, or even in a day, so I can't pick favorites. It's too hard. But now we're going to answer the questions that Sean Burrs and his family has asked me. I'm just going to find them here. I'm going to talk a bit in the meantime, if I can find them. Not sure if I will. Do you know Pokemon, and which is your favorite? I know Pokemon. I watched quite a lot of Pokemon when I was younger. I played it too. I don't think I have a favorite. No. If you could design a book like Folio or Amaranthine, what book would you choose? I talked about it earlier. I would choose some best of the best quality I could find. The just most handcrafted with marble M papers, parchment as paper, illuminated with gold foil, probably bound in some kind of leather. Yeah, with gilded pages. Don't even get me going. Starting. What authors have you met? I haven't met any authors. I've met one author. He lives quite near me, but he has only written one book. But it was it sold pretty well here in Sweden. Who is your favorite Tolkien illustrator? Alan Lee, probably my favorite Tolkien illustrator. Who is your favorite illustrator? Kay Nielsen. What Hogwarts house are you? Ravenclaw. What is the book you own for the longest amount of time? Probably my Harry Potter books. Have you read The Fall of Gondolin yet? No, I have not. What is your newest book? What is your oldest book? My newest book, it's right here somewhere. I have a few books on socialism. We have Capital by Karl Marx. This is an abridgment. And I also have The Conquest of Bread by Peter Kropotkin, which is an anarchist text book. And my oldest book is probably some Harry Potter books. How many books do you have? I think I have around, right now, probably around 100. And between 100 and 150, maybe. I haven't counted them in a while. And I also sell books quite a lot. Does your cat have a special place they lay down or sit? The cat I take care of likes to lay down wherever well, he's all over the place really. He's either on the couch, or he's where I'm sitting right now, or he's on my desk, or he's in the bed, or he's at the window. He's all over the place. Do you have a special chair set up in your house for reading? No, not really. I mainly read at my desk. I have this chair I'm sitting in right now. That's a pretty nice reading chair as well. Where is the highest place in your house that your cat likes to go? The bookshelf, probably. What time is it in your country? It's right now. It's almost 5 p.m. Is your cat an indoor cat or an indoor and outdoor cat? My cat is an indoor and outdoor cat, and I'm gonna let him go outside right now. Do you live in a big city or in an apartment? I live in a small village in a house. How old is your cat? I don't know, since it's not my cat originally. What country do you live in? I live in Sweden, and I've noticed that my accent starts to go more English as I speak. That's something when you have English as your secondary language, you can really pick whatever accent you want to have. And so if I don't want to speak with my Swedish accent, I can try to pick something else. I'm not sure what's going on here. What do you read when you want to feel cozy? Fairy tales, definitely. Maybe even some Grimm brother fairy tales. Or Anderson, or fairy tales. What book do you own with the most scary or disturbing illustrations? Definitely Johan Ekstrand's books. What book scares you? Lovecraft, all of his short fiction. How many animals live with you? Who are they? Only that little cat that just went outside, Gossen. What is your favorite chocolate? I really like some quality bean to bar chocolate. Especially lately, it's a Vietnamese chocolate. It's probably like a 70% dark. Of course, dark chocolate is the best chocolate you can get. And the only proper chocolate, really. Come on. What is your favorite candy? I don't really eat that much candy, so I can't answer that. What is your favorite time to read? Early in the morning and really late at night. Have you ever started reading a book at bedtime and then read it until the sun comes up? No, I have never done that. I'm not one to read for long periods of time. I can't really do that. At max, like 1 hour. I don't read much longer than that. What are the strangest bindings for books in your collection? We have this one here, the Japanese bound 1,100 Views of Jedo, I think it's called. Yeah, Hiroshi Fantastic. It's a weirdly bound book if you compare it to Western bound books. And that's, my friends and all of you that are watching, is all of the questions, and I'm just Whoa, that was a lot of questions, really. If anyone has stayed with me all this time, I'm not sure why. Well, I hope some of you did. And if you did, thank you so much, because this has been quite a journey for me to talk, and my jaws are starting to get tired from all the talking. I'm usually not much of a talker otherwise. But yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining me in this new journey, the rebirth of Pontus Presents, inspired by William Morris, mainly. Inspired by the art and beauty of a well-bound book. That's the fact that I want you all to take with you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not really sure what I'm talking about, but thank you all so much for watching. I hope I will see you all next time. Pontus Presents is back, hopefully better than ever. Bye.